Donald Trump wants to show during this election that he is strong. He's heard your talk about him hiding in a bunker, and so he's gone into enemy territory to do a town hall on Fox News. Here he is talking about coronavirus.
We have more cases because we do the greatest testing. If we didn't do testing, we'd have no cases. Other countries, they don't test millions, so up to almost 30 million tests. So when you do 30 million, you're going to have a kid with the sniffles, and they'll say it's coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. I said the other night, there are so many names to this. I could name 19 names, like Corona 19, but I could name 19 names. And our mortality rate is among the best countries in the world, meaning people that die. Because a lot of these tests, it's a kid doesn't even know. In some cases, it's people that didn't even know they were sick. Maybe they weren't, but it shows up in a test.
Okay. So they didn't know they were sick. Maybe they weren't sick, but they tested positive for it, and it killed them, but they weren't sick. Of the thing that they tested positive for that just killed them.
That's the opposite of a miracle. It was kind of a miracle because they weren't sick, but they had it, but they weren't sick, and they died.
Of it, which they had, but they weren't sick with it.
I love from this thing, people were sharing like a transcript of his plan for the future.
Oh, we're gonna listen to that part.
Okay, good. I couldn't tell if we had that, but
that was madness. Madness. Now, like, yes, the testing stuff, that we wouldn't have cases if we didn't test. No, we wouldn't have cases if we didn't have COVID. And even if I understand that we say solipsism and, all of that, like, I get that we say that. Even if he knows exactly what he means, he just means that we only see it because we test. To talk about this literally every day is the most petulant, whiny, immature, stupid waste of our time that I can imagine. And then when he turns from that to his new thing, which is, hey everybody, I got a type 5 on how COVID's got a lot of names. It's got 19. I can name one like Corona 19, which is not one of them.
No one has ever said that. No one has ever said that.
That's the only one he could come up with, and it wasn't one.
Well, that's a hedge at Kung Flu.
Mm-hmm.
That's his like his thousand hand slap, which is his move, which I said on this show. It is insane. It is so unmoored from reality. He is absolutely saying that because A, it does sound like a type 5. It's a little bit he does, but B, he does it because in case someone wants to go after him for being racist, at some point he can look back and say, no, I'm just saying it has a lot of names.
Yeah.
That's true. That's that. But like, it's hard to not always say this, but that's the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And if you and we are a laughing stock. There is no way that, especially with this, like people can say, well, we're sticking it to China. I think he sometimes has had like the upper hand rhetorically by at least fighting for something that no one understands, but he's fighting against China in a trade war because everything's so cheap to make there. We want to make it here. Fine. But here, there is no number that proves that he's doing a good job. And there is no sentence he's put together that gets somewhere close to, well, China's screwing us on this. We got to fight back. There is only, well, we now know how many people have this terrible disease, and we shouldn't. And that goes back to something that is fundamentally true about Trump. He never wants to take responsibility for any failure, even though he is responsible for pretty much every failure.
Yeah. It's amazing. I understand most of this is just, there's no inroads to really grasping what he's saying there because he's saying so little. But the one specific claim he made was that our mortality rate, which is when people die, is the lowest in the world. You'll be shocked to find out it's not. Yeah, we're third highest on that list.
It's the best.
It's best,
as you know,
in that it's third highest in the world. And again, that's mortality, which is not a measure of are we testing or not. I mean, sure, you can mess with the numbers by classifying deaths as one thing or another, but we have the third highest in the entire world.
Oh my God.
And the United Kingdom is doing bad.
And oh yeah, it's real bad. But cheesy crazy, man.
Yeah, cheesy crazy.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.